All right, everybody, welcome. My name is Emma Coped. I am the project manager here at Valley Vision. I oversee our food and ag impact area, and I'd like to welcome you to the launch of our new webinar series, where we're going to be discussing important issues that are facing our food and ag community. Valley Vision is a regional civic leadership organization, and as the managers of the We Are Farm to Fork initiative and other projects, we are focused on food and agricultural production as the foundation of our competitive and sustainable local economy. As part of that mission, we are dedicated to uplifting efforts that support farmers, ranchers, companies across our food systems, and include projects that work to increase access to locally healthily grown food, especially to underserved, vulnerable communities, supporting food literacy and food security programs, training the next generation of farmers and food processors, as well as supporting ag tech and other innovations.
March 14th, right? We realized as the virus got worse and worse and things kept changing. So with Clay Nutting, who's on here, and Brad Checky and a bunch of other chefs, we started talking about Sacramento family meal and what that might look like. And what we've been doing is creating dinner to go, a bag that feeds 4, and making 100 of them a day. So we're feeding 400 people. Today will be guests 1601 through 2000, and then distributing throughout the community. So it fits into coronavirus because a lot of displacement, people who are hungry and in isolation, and how do we get food out to them, particularly kids and the elderly, and then the homeless too. Another thing that we thought about was that this diffuse production, right? 2 or 3 people at a time are making the food, distribution comes in, we stand back, they pick up the bags, and away they go.
Typically, Sac City Unified has 80 schools that operate at 31 school sites. We're serving breakfast and lunch from 8 to 12:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And then additionally, we're serving meals in the evening at 14 additional locations from 4:30 to 6. We've had a decrease in our labor force. Our staff are a little bit older, and so a lot of them are falling into that, not necessarily high risk group, but some of them are older or school's out, and a lot of our employees are moms and they don't have childcare. And then just a lot of our employees also care for elderly parents. This is a high exposure, high risk situation that we're asking and kind of expecting our employees to work in. And so we're very cognizant of that, but we also understand we are deemed essential workers.
From our perspective, our 2 favorite words right now is agility and speed, right? How fast can we move without, harming our system, without harming our team members, and impacting our customers in terms of our delivery of food. We're managing the demand on a daily basis. It's a morning and afternoon meeting just to touch base on things, allowing the food system to catch up. I know one of the concept of agility, I think we've done a really good job. I don't think we've done a great job because when you're working with speed, there's a lot of opportunity for errors. I think the challenge for us has been every day is a little different. Safety of our team members and customers is, of course, our top priority, but that changes, right? A few weeks ago, sanitizing was enough, and now we are putting in shields.
We have a couple of things. One, empty restaurants, antsy chefs who want to cook. Food in the fields where we're not using it. We've seen Produce Express are down 65%. So all those folks who have supported us throughout the years in our farm to fork efforts now need our help more. We have to figure out how to pay for it. If the stimulus package comes through and we get payroll reimbursement, then maybe that will help. And we're still looking for the ways to get this up in a sustainable manner.
Challenge has been our meal counts. Actually, it's a good thing. We are approved to be serving free meals to any child under 18 years old. So families who are coming, they don't necessarily have to have kids in our district. We can feed anyone under 18 years old for free. And we're providing breakfast and lunch every day. So it's essentially lunch for that day, breakfast for the next day. So when we started last week on Monday, we were initially at 14 locations because all of our staff were told to stay home initially. So we served 1,700 meals on the 16th. 9 operating days later, which was yesterday, we served 29,000 meals. So our kitchen staff are cooking hot food in the kitchens and running it out curbside and holding it in food warmers to meet the needs of our communities. So
biggest challenges, and I think the restaurants are dealing with this as well, is the regulatory side, and having things that maybe were a regulatory burden freed up as quickly as possible. So for example, in some city locations, we have limitations on when our trucks can deliver. All of those have gone quiet and dormant for the time being, so that we're getting, maybe 10 deliveries a day. How do we handle our bags and the reusable bag conversation with the governor's office?
This has been happening on the fly, and what we found is that trusted community leaders are the most important people to take the food out at the community level. Our goal here is that we're supporting our friends, the farmers, right? We're making sure that this economy keeps going so that it's been there, so it'll be there when things come back. And then share our thoughts on how this has worked and be able to sit together and say, here's how we can feed people, and here's a handbook that other people can use as they go out. And we've seen, maybe for the first time, the body politic has really responded and paid attention to the restaurant world, right? Mm-hmm. We are 12% of the workforce. We are really appreciative of all the public outpouring from not only Sacramento, but coast to coast of people supporting the restaurant world.
We're serving 29,000 meals today, or at 31 sites. And so on a typical day at 80 sites, we'll serve 43,000 meals. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 40,000 next week. Our district, especially our school nutrition department, we operate pretty differently than most nutrition departments. We are our own distributor, which is great. We have our own reefer trucks. We have our own warehouse where we store all of our own food. We're trying to get our momentum back. We can feed 43,000 a day. That's easy for us. It's just we flipped our operations upside down last week, and now we're trying to get back to normal. So last week it was a challenge because we were needing food quickly in terms of pre-packed cold items that didn't require a lot of labor because we didn't have it. And so that put a strain on the supply chain in regards to cold pre-packed meals, because every school district in the country was needing those and they needed it yesterday. In order for us to mitigate that, we were able to pre-pack our own meals with the labor that we did have. And now we've moved, because there is, in terms of cold pre-packed foods, there is somewhat of a supply shortage, but we're not worried about it because we've moved to hot food. We have no shortage of food. In our warehouse, we've had to reroute semi-trucks to our other cold storage to facilitate all of those truckloads of deliveries coming in. So we have no supply issues. We're just we're trying to get our momentum back. We can feed 43,000 a day. That's easy for us. It's just we flipped our operations upside down last week, and now we're trying to get back to normal.
Please don't overbuy. Normalize your buying patterns. Go to the grocery store once every week or so, and the food system will continue to catch up.
Yeah.
I think that's biggest is how do we continue to evolve our operations so that we make sure people have options, especially those that are vulnerable from a health perspective, or our senior population that we know is of great need right now. So making sure that our e-commerce system is ready. We're of course comparing ourselves to some competitors, and Walmart and Amazon is having a very hard time keeping up. And they're just shutting off all of their online services. We have been so proud and so lucky to maintain, while it's a longer time frame probably than most would expect or would like. That's shading down every day, but we've maintained a steady pulse on our e-commerce so that we make sure people have options, especially those that are vulnerable from a health perspective, or our senior population that we know is of great need right now. So, we've never done curbside pickup for pharmacy prescriptions. We're doing that now. We're doing delivery in a greater capacity. We're partnering with entities to deliver seniors homes. We're continuing to work with the food bank. My biggest fear, the things that keep us up at night, is thinking about 4 weeks from now when people haven't had a paycheck for 4 weeks, that they won't be able to shop at a Raley's. And so how do we make sure that the food bank is stocked and ready to go? They're able to buy through our Food for Families program, where essentially gives them a slush fund to spend in our stores at cost. We do have up in Butte County, we invested about $500,000 in supporting a traveling kitchen, serving meals up in Butte County on a daily basis, very similar to the work that Kelsey's team is doing in Sacramento, but making sure that they're getting to those in need. So.